Hello ladies and gentlemen, dear traders. This is a new video. Today is Saturday, markets are closed. First of all, check out the new podcast on the trading battle. It's an upcoming podcast and I was honored to be a guest on it. I think it came out really well. If you're starting out with market causality, maybe watch this first, go through it, and it gives you a great overview. So that's another trading battle. Okay, it's time for some live analysis and to look at the different scenarios for the week. First of all, if we go to euro dollar, we see we have longies in the market. There's a pullback. There are longies above the price. So even though the squeeze line is declining a bit, this could turn into a great short setup, in euro dollar, into a position trade. Especially if the price goes up and kisses those old dumb money long positions. For example, we're taking the MTS. At those levels, I would really try to place a short trade, a position trade, and to ride it all the way down, Given that longies keep on buying the market and that not big shorties come in the way, of course. But as you can see on the day chart, if such a scenario evolves, I would try to ride it all the way down to the LTS around here, So below the low. So that's a very interesting setup. Euro pound looks quite bullish. There's an MTS above here, and when you go to the day chart, there's shorties below the price, so euro pound looks rather bullish. Of course, the other dollar pairs correlated to euro dollar, like Australian dollar, also look bearish. We see we have longies coming in. If they take this MTS, I would try to place a short trade, trading down against all the dumb money buyers, and trying to ride it down. So this is basically the scenario. Bitcoin is a bit iffy. It came down. It doesn't need to take this MTS down here at the 91,000 level, but it could though, So I would stay defensive on that for now. Of course, if it really comes down here, that's a big buy, but let's see, that's a bit far away. Okay, let's look at the other pairs. So cable is similar like euro dollar, but it came down a bit more, so it doesn't seem to be the better choice. The same goes for Kiwi dollar. It already came down a lot against the longies, so I wouldn't be keen on just selling at those levels without a pullback. But the general story remains, we have a squeeze against the longies, and as we know, even if there's a pullback, it can go all the way down. So Kiwi stays bearish. And that means that dollar cut stays bullish, Even though there we see some longies coming in, but look, we have an ongoing squeeze. So dollar cut can come up higher. Okay, this is a reverse pair. The same goes for dollar yen. Dollar yen can do a pullback because some short is left, but eventually can attack the highs again. Okay, so that's kind of the base case. The metals, gold, it did new highs, 3,780, now doing a pullback, but we don't touch that one. As expected, the metals came all the way up. Silver even more, up to the 48 level here. But do not try to short that, okay? That's a very dangerous endeavor. Don't do these kind of things. It's pretty clear what makes sense and what doesn't make sense looking at the causality, Okay, let's also look at pound yen. It went quite flat last week, mixed our money flow. So it stays kind of neutral. I wouldn't touch it in that kind of state. Pound Aussie looks bullish, should come up some more. Took the upper MTS as expected, as you can see from the block. And Euro Yen actually also looks kind of bullish, because the market is full of dumb money shorties and they can go for the long-term high. Maybe they even do a gap up tomorrow, at the market open. So these are quite clear scenarios, and okay, it's not difficult to see which markets are interesting, which markets you should trade from which side. That's the power of the MK web, Okay, so that was a nice, spicy, short overview. And make sure to watch the podcast. I wish you a great weekend.